Hey, is that folk music that you play there? What is that? How do you call that folk music?
I think it was Studs Terkel who asked Big Bill Brunzi, did he consider his blues music to be folk music? And Big Bill says, well, never heard no horses sing.
Don't hesitate. It could be your ticket to a new tomorrow.
Oh, my dear, you prepare. Are you going anywhere? Oh, my dear, back from town. Are you to a vessel bound? Off to war on an angry sea. Fairest one, I love you. This is something I must do. Fairest one, if I stay, then your honor I'd betray. So I seek lesser company. Oh, my dear, please don't leave. There are tears upon my sleeve. Oh, my dear, if you go down the archipelago, you will never return to me. Fairest one, let me go, for you know I love you so. Fairest one, I'll return, and your marriage I will earn with promotion and bravery. Oh, my dear, you are gone. I will mourn you ere the dawn. All the young and the brave are the first to find their graves in Her Majesty's company. A fairest one never knew what I'm really set to do. Fairest one I never told, trading slaves for rum and gold to win her from her family. Oh, my dear, I have dreams, and tonight I hear the screams. Oh, my dear, in those lands you have blood upon your hands, and your soul is in jeopardy. The fairest one of my land, I do not deserve your hand. Fairest one, like a fool, I have been the devil's tool, and my soul is in jeopardy. Oh, my dear, I have learned all the ships of war returned. Oh, my dear, as you know, they did not return with you. So I made you a grave by the sea. Fairest one, I have sins rum or gold could never cleanse. Fairest one in the deep, I will lay myself to sleep and make me a grave of the sea.
All right.
Thank you.
The show is Horses Sing None of It. My name is Ralph Litwin. Our guest is Jonathan Byrd.
Thanks for having me.
Tell me about that song. Is that a fictional, totally fictional piece, or is it based on a historical?
A friend of mine got really fascinated with that song. He's a philosopher, so he thinks too much. And he sent me an email with a whole expose about that song. And he said there are 4 years in history in which that song could have happened. When there was a woman who was queen, when there was the triangular slave trade and all this stuff. And he narrowed it down to those 4 years. I didn't really think about all that when I wrote it.
You just made it up out of the whole cloth.
I
of
made it up.
imagination.
That's right. Sometimes I
Very
perform it
good.
as a duet. There's several female singer-songwriters that I know that have learned that song, and we perform it with them singing the woman's part, and that's really fun too.
Sounds good. What else would you like to give us?
Well, I'll tell you a story from my home. I'm from North Carolina, and just a couple miles away from where I live now, there's a gas station where I met this guy named Larry. And my brother used to work there at the gas station. I'd go see him every day after work. It was kind of a country gas station where guys would come in after work and hang out and talk about nothing for an hour and smoke cigarettes. And I met this guy Larry there, and I wrote a song about him, and I called it The Ballad of Larry.
All right.
Larry is a veteran. I seen him at the store with a 6-pack of malt liquor, the Prozac of the poor, a can of chili and a can of beans, and a pack of cigarettes, 4 cheap cigars, and he writes a check. He climbs into his van. It's a blue Econoline. But they're both on their last legs if looks are any sign. But there's a flag on the bumper, and just to the right, a bald eagle with a nail file says it's time to fight. You think you've got nothing to give, but look around how people live. Loneliness is poverty. Say hey to me. I had an old piano that just didn't belong, a couple missing keys that seemed to be in every song. And even when I had it tuned, well, it didn't sound that good. I was tempted to scrap the guts and burn the wood. I put in the paper a piano for free. If you can haul it, you can have it. And people came to see. Some folks played chopsticks, or maybe a body and soul, but always they'd hammer in the empty holes. You think you got nothing to give, but look around how people live. Loneliness is poverty. Say hey to me. I heard you got a piano, he said with suspicion. Well, he was shaking from the cold, probably malnutrition. I said, hey Larry, won't you come on in? Can I make you some coffee? But he wasn't listening. He went to that piano like he'd seen an old friend. He drew his name in the dust. He told me where it was made and when. He said, I haven't seen one of these since I was a boy. And his face was twisted into joy. Think you've got nothing to give, but look around how people live. Loneliness is poverty. Say hey to me. Well, we talked a few minutes. when the coffee was hot. I said, hey Larry, won't you show me what you got? He showed me what he had all right with conviction and soul. He banged the barrel house blues and baby, he rolled like Jelly Roll. And he played songs of love and country from sea to shining sea. And not once did I hear a broken key, a broken old piano and a broken old man rolled away smoking in a broken old van. You think you got nothing to give? Look around how people live. Loneliness is poverty. They say hey to me. They say
Great song.
Thank you.
I can see why you were the New Folk winner at Kerrville.
Oh, thanks. That was one of the songs
No kidding.
that I played in the contest.
That's a winner.
Thanks.
So what part of North Carolina you come from?
I'm from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I live just outside of Carborough, which is used to be sort of a suburb of Chapel Hills, now sort of come into its own. And I live about 7 miles out in the country in part of the county that's dairy fields, lots of farms and woods that the farmers keep and rent out to hunters to hunt quail and that kind of thing.
So your music matches your origins.
Oh, thank you. I wanted to play you a song by a guy that I met in Kerrville, actually. His name is Matt Faulkner, and he's from South Dakota. And you probably never see him play a show. He doesn't play shows very much, but he's a fantastic songwriter. And I'd like to play a song of his called Lakota Sioux.
Okay. Look forward to hearing that.
The summer is changing, the fall is in the air. The geese are in migration, you can hear them up there. The prairie's golden brown, and the leaves are falling down. The fawns have lost their spots, and the temperature's dropping down. It was a big day, I suppose, when the Indians chased the buffalo. Across the prairie in herds they'd go, till the blood began to flow, and they went down. Said we ain't got no time, no to waste no time. We got a lot of lives, we gotta keep in line. Pretty soon the snow's gonna fly. You don't feed them, your people gonna die. So it was a big day, I suppose, when the Indians chased the buffalo. Across the prairie in herds they'd go, till the blood began to flow, and they went down. They like to paint their face, and they like to paint their paints, and they like to decorate everything up and celebrate. And they like to congregate in a beautiful place, dress themselves in feathers and leathers and dream their fates. So it was a big day, I suppose, with the buffalo. Across the prairie in herds they'd go, till the blood began to flow, and they went down. And then the cavalries came to take their land away. Hell, they lied and died and lost every battle, but they got their way. And then they took their souls when they took the buffalo. And then they took their families' blankets riddled with polio. So it was a big day, I suppose, when Custer went in for the clothes and found himself with his pants down as the Indians rolled around and took him down. I said, oh, we ain't got no time, I know they'll waste no time, and we got a lot of lives, and we gotta keep in line. Pretty soon the snow's gonna fly. You don't feed them, your people gonna die. So it was a big day, I suppose, when the Indians chased the buffalo. Across the prairie in herds they'd go, till the blood began to flow and they went down.
All right.
Thank you.
I'd like to tell folks how to get in touch with you in case they want to find out about your touring schedule, your product for sale, and so forth. They can reach you at info@jonathanbyrd.com, or they can go to www.jonathanbyrd.com. Byrd with a Y.
Byrd with a Y.
And you've got a couple albums, a couple CDs.
We have here today, we have The Waitress, and I should play that song for you. I have The Sea in the Sky too, which is the last one that I did with a group called Dromedary from Athens, Georgia. And they play instruments from all over the world. I'll play something from that later too.
Okay.
Let you hear that sound.
Take it away.
She's pretty, she's amazing, I think I'm in love with her. I love the way she smiles at me over breakfast. When she's pretty, she's amazing, and I love the way she calls me sir. She really listens to me, and she's my waitress. She's my waitress. If I need a cup of coffee, she's my waitress. And if I want a slice of pie, she's my waitress. And she'll come back until I've had enough. She's my waitress. From her orthopedic shoes, she's my waitress. Up to the chewing gum she chews, she's my waitress. She's the waitress I love. She's pretty, she's amazing. Hey, though she's had a brush with the law. It's been a while since her last arrest. She's pretty, she's amazing. You know everybody's got some little flaw. But she's rehabilitated now. She's my waitress. She's my waitress. Oh, she's popping Percocets. She's my waitress. Yes, and smoking cigarettes. She's my waitress. And Lord knows that morning crowd is tough. She's my waitress. And there where everybody goes, she's my waitress. When all the honky-tonks are closed, she's my waitress. She's the waitress I love. Here we go. She's my waitress. Oh, her brother's name is Billy. She's my waitress. You know he'd probably beat me silly if he knew. If he knew what I was thinking of. I'm thinking of my waitress. Yes, and maybe someday if she's my waitress, Oh, I'll have the nerve to say, oh waitress, you're the waitress I love. Thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
So that's the title of your CD that was set a sales record at Kerrville.
That's right. That's right. That was nice.
It's a
That was
nice
really
accolade to your
Well-
songwriting and performing.
Well, that's how I recorded the next album. I went back with the money from Kerrville. So I got money to record now.
All right.
Called up the guys, yeah.
What would you like to do for us?
I'm gonna play a song that I've written very recently. And this is a story that takes place in the northeast Georgia. There's a little town called Dahlonega that was the site of the first gold rush in America, also the subsequent removal of the Cherokee people out of that same region. And this story happens there. This is called The Ballad of Diana Jones. Diana was a Cherokee, pretty as you'd ever see. The blue eyes and long black hair, a wild streak from here to there. And reservation life was slow, so she packed her bags to go. Moved to Georgia and took the name Diana Jones. Diana ran the dewdrop in with a stare like a mountain cat, and kept a room behind the bar for any man who needed that. And people talk about her still, how she'd take a $20 bill right across Jackson's face, the name Diana Jones. She brought all the gold in Georgia back shining, 20 bucks at a time. Billy wore a badge in town, and he was always hanging round. Ever since Diana died, you hardly see him on this side. His wife used to come for him and drag him out of the dewdrop inn. It wasn't fit for a family man to know Diana Jones. Diana made the front page news the night she went out on the loose, heartbroken with a gun in her hand, in love with a married man. Neighbors called the station scared, and Billy had to go down there. And something went wrong somewhere for Diana Jones. She brought all the gold in Georgia back shining, 20 bucks at a time. And no one knows what happened then between Diana and 5 armed men. Shots were fired and words were said, and 2 men and Diana dead. Things went on the way they do, the papers filled with other news, and the wild died in Billy too, with Diana Jones. I only seen him one time since. He come into the dewdrop inn, bought all the old boys around, and went to lay his money down. Gave a $20 bill a kiss, said, I hate to part with this. And right across Jackson's face, the name Diana Jones. And she brought all the gold in Georgia back shining, at 20 bucks at a time.
Well, we're closing in on the end of the show here, so whatever it is you want to do last,
Okay.
if you want to tell folks anything.
Oh, have a good time out there. Stop being so serious. Go dance. So this is going to be our last song. Why don't you join me on the harmonica here?
All right, I'd love to.
We'll play a song. This is a song called Velma. It's about Velma Barfield, who was the last woman to be executed in the state of North Carolina back in 1984. And back in 1971, she poisoned my grandfather. He was her first victim. And her victims included her own mother and several other people. So I had to write a song about that, and I did, and this is called Velma. Wind in the cypress and sand on the ground, falling down to Velma, falling down. The daughter of a farmer, well, she ran away to town, falling down to Velma, falling down. Well, you poisoned your mama, and then you watched her fall, falling down the Velma, falling down. Well, your medicine is calling, can't you hear your medicine call, falling down the Velma, falling down. Yeah. Well, you married my granddaddy, and him I never knew, falling down the Velma, falling down. Because about the time he met me was about the time he met you, falling down the Velma, falling down. And then you killed Stuart Taylor, and someone had to know, falling down.